Thanks, Tanvi. Good evening to all of you, and thanks for joining this Q2 FY19 earnings call for Cupid Limited. We have mailed the press release and the results to you. I hope you have received the same, and we have also uploaded this on our website and the stock exchanges. To discuss the results and address the queries of the investors, we have with us Mr. Om Garg, Chairman and Managing Director of the company. Mr. Garg will give a brief overview of the quarter gone past, and then we will open the floor over to Q&A session. I would like to remind you that everything said on this call that reflects any outlook for the future or which can be construed as a forward-looking statement must be viewed in conjunction with uncertainties and the risks that we face. These uncertainties and risks are included but not limited to what we have mentioned in the prospectus filed with SEBI and subsequent annual report, which you can find on the website. With that said, let me hand over the call to Mr. Garg. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Vinay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Q2 FY19 earnings conference call for Cupid Limited. As you may have seen from the press release, the numbers on top line, EBITDA and the bottom line. So I will not go into the details except to say that the main reason for these numbers is that the mix of male and female condoms was not as healthier as we had in the past. By that I mean that the sale of high margin female condoms were lower this quarter, and the sale of lower margin male condoms was higher, with the result that the EBITDA was reduced from say 32%, to 32% from 44% for the period a year ago. In spite of these numbers, we have noticed that the demand for both male and female condoms from domestic as well as export markets is very strong. In fact, there are several large-scale tenders, mainly from South Africa, Brazil, India, and Zambia and Tanzania, which Cupid intends to participate actively. So I will not go into the details of the number, which we would cover it in the Q&A session. Right now, I would like to go over some of the highlights during the quarter. First of all, we completed rupees 104 crore 3-year female condom supply contract with the government of South Africa on September 30th, 2018. We continue to work on the expansion of our production capacity from 400 million pieces per year to 560 million pieces per year. The first of the two lines should be operational by December end, and the second line before March 31st, before the financial year end. With these increased capacities, we expect to increase both our top lines and also our production cost is expected to reduce because of larger volumes spreading the overheads of the operations. Number 3 highlight was our Cupid's decision on the joint venture project in South Africa to start a local manufacturing unit. After several deliberations with our JV partner, Cupid decided not to be an equity partner in the project. Instead, we are now negotiating with an arrangement whereby Cupid would supply the semi-finished goods to the South African plant, on an exclusive basis, and also provide all the technical assistance, both in setting up the plant as well as in the running of the plant. And in addition, Cupid is negotiating a 5% royalty payment on all the products which are sold to the government of South Africa. So we believe this is a much better alternate and less riskier for Cupid Limited. Otherwise, we would have been a minority partner, and the uncertainties in terms of the labor situation there and the productivity factor. Number 4. Registration with the government of Brazil. Number 4. During the quarter, we got Cupid female condom registered in Brazil, and also for the first time we participated in a 30 million female condom supply tender from government of Brazil, and the results are expected in next month, latest by December. Also, for the first time, we participated in a male condom tender to supply about 70 million pieces to the government of Tanzania, and for which we are expecting the results in next few days. And fifth highlight for the quarter was that, as you are all aware, Cupid celebrated its silver jubilee, 25 years of existence since 1993 on September 28, 2018, and Cupid issued one bonus share for every 5 shares held by each of the shareholders. So we are pretty pleased about that anniversary celebration. Now, coming back to the order book, it's very healthy. We have a current confirmed orders of about 51 crores, which we expect most of it would be dispatched by March 31st, 2019. In addition, we also expect to receive a few more additional orders in next 6 months, which would boost our order book even further. And just to put it in perspective, our capacity utilization during the quarter was over 90%, both for male condoms as well as for female condoms. So we believe that we would be able to execute this current confirmed order book, and we look forward to expanding our order book for at least next 2 quarters for FY20. Positive about it? We have noticed that this year, because of the donor funding and international support, more and more large-scale tenders have been floated by different organizations, and because of our expanded capacity, we expect to actively participate in all these tenders. And with higher volume of production and lower overheads, we hope to improve our margins going forward. Based on some of these factors I have mentioned above, we remain very positive for the growth of Cupid over the next 3 to 5 years. Now I would like to turn over the session to a Q&A session.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. We will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Subbu Murugesan, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello sir. Thank you for taking my question. So my first question is about this South African project. So now that the joint venture is not going to be set up, what sort of revenues are you expecting from this alternative arrangement for the next 2 to 3 years?
We are still going into the joint venture, but not as equity partner, but as technical partner. And we expect 4 to 5 CR per year minimum as a revenue from the project over the next 4 years, which is the life of the project, at least.
Could you repeat how many CR? Is it 25 you said?
No, 4 to 5 CR per year minimum from the operation.
Okay.
Without any investment.
Okay. And basically after that, they would have the expertise to manufacture the products themselves. So we will not be expecting any further revenue from South Africa, right? Because that's the whole point for them to get the technical expertise and start doing it in-house, right?
Basically, yes, that is the intention. But because of the technical nature of the business and very limited expertise available all over the world in this field of manufacturing of female condoms to meet all the WHO and UNFPA quality requirements, we expect that Cupid would continue to be involved over an extended period, maybe at much less level.
Okay. So basically the South African government will not be floating any more tenders for the next year and the year after, right? Or would they be still floating tenders?
Yes, they would be. The last tender, which was a 3-year tender starting from October 18, going up to September 20th, they had indicated that they would extend the tenders by 2 more years. So at least we expect there will be 1 more tender. But assuming the South African facilities moves quite progressively, satisfactorily, then I think their plans are to slow down and eventually stop the worldwide import tenders. And just to give you some insight into the thinking of the Ministry of Health and Department of Treasury there, from the joint venture, they expect to purchase about 16 million female condoms in the first year, which would start from October 19, and the following year it will be increased to 24 million pieces, and in the third year they would be doing 32 million, and the fourth year they are planning to take the 40 million of FC. So almost the entire quantity as their projections are at present.
Okay, and would the allocation change for next year? Because for this year in the tender, Cupid got a very low allocation, right? But for the next year's tender, do you think Cupid will get more, or would it be the same allocation as last year, or we have a possibility to get more than last year, than this year? Sorry.
Okay. First of all, they have announced the allocations only for the first year of this 3-year tender. So the government has not announced any allocation to any of the manufacturers about year 2 and year 3. We expect more allocations in year 2 as well as in year 3. One of the reasons we believe we got less quantity in the first year is because we would be contributing, we will be supplying to the local manufacturing unit. So probably they considered that as well.
Okay. And like one last question about the rights issue, right? Basically, I want to point out that this has caused although it's bonus shares issue, although this looks good, where people get more shares, but the overall equity value of the company remains the same. It's just divided into more shares now. So if you can see Cupid's share price, it will sort of go down because of this bonus. So basically, people will own more shares, but each share would be of a lower price. And but then what it causes is it has an increased tax burden because of the new capital gains tax. All bonus shares are assumed to have zero cost value, so it would be as if we purchased it at a zero price, and then when we sell it, we'll have to pay 10% capital gains. So effectively, it sort of causes a tax burden on investors rather than being like a positive thing. Now, if we were to sell the shares, we would have to pay 10% on 160, which is Cupid's share price, so about 16 rupees per share as tax. So I think going forward, you should also sort of consider like a tax-efficient way to do things.
Oh, thank you very much. That is a very useful and practical suggestion. One reason we did what we did is that for the last 20 years of operation since 98, we had not issued any bonus shares, although we have been paying the dividends, including this 10% dividend last week, based on the Q2 performance, as you are aware.
Yeah, okay. And my final question is about the Brazilian tender. So you said 30 million pieces. So basically, in like dollar terms, how much is it, and for how many years is the tender?
Which one?
The like Brazilian tender. You said it's for 30 million, right?
Yeah, it's about 30 million. So it would be at least 30 cents a piece. So it would be what, 9 million?
Okay. And is it over 1 year or 2 years? Or?
No, this is for 1 year, and they are already talking about a larger quantity for the next year. As you know, Brazil has a huge demand for female condoms, and they were not able to do the procurement because of their poor economy in last couple of years. Now it seems like things are improving there.
Okay, and we will know the outcome in the next few weeks, by December.
That's what the indication is based on our discussions with them. But of course, we have to see what is their budgeting allocation and the overall economic and political situation there.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Participants, if you have any questions, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Jayant Raghav, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. I'd like to know about the appointment of the CEO and the CBDO for the organization, because I feel that we are trying our best, but if we have to scale up and make the best use of the addressable opportunity, I feel that we need to appoint a CEO and a CBDO and possibly someone in the board who is well connected to get us more orders and more business.
I agree with your suggestion. We have been trying to get someone who could fulfill both the functions, i.e. CEO, as well as who could strengthen our board. Unfortunately, we have not been able to find a suitable candidate. We had 2 prospects at the last earnings call. We could not negotiate the package, and in the meantime, it looks like he got a better offer. The second candidate, he is overseas, and he is trying to see when he could move back to India. So we are in discussion with them. There is an issue of his children's education. So that is the only active prospects we have right now. But of course, we would continue, and like you indicated, with the expanded manufacturing operations, we do need a qualified person.
Yeah, and I also feel that in order for us to scale up, we need to tap more of the FIIs and the mutual funds, and if possible, raise capital, acquire somebody, and then, grow more aggressively to be able to capture this opportunity. Because the good part of our organization is that we are earning consistently 20% net profit margin, which means we have the pricing a bit power in the market. But it's just that given the way things are going, we are not seeing a linear growth in revenue. It is more of lumpy, and it's not giving a clear upward trajectory, just as we expect in the case of a consumer company, an FMCG or something like that. So I feel that if we scale up using these ways, or even try to become an acquisition target for someone, it will largely enhance the market value of our company. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we move to the next question, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you. Participants, if you have any questions, please press star and 1. We have a follow-up question from the line of Subbu Murugesan, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello, sir. Thanks again. So for the Tanzania order, right, you said it's like 70 million pieces. So basically that order is like how much in value terms, and for how long is this order? That's also 1 year?
No, the quantity is actually 70 million pieces of male condoms, and the value is about 16 crores. And it has to be delivered over the next 4 months.
Oh, okay. So when will we know the result of this?
We expect it in next 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And what's happening in the domestic business? So last time you mentioned that you've been selling in India through your sales agents and distributors. So could you give an update on how the domestic market is looking, and also the B2C segment that you are targeting?
Okay. Our initial approach of going pan-India, supported by TV ads and the newspaper ads, we found to be very expensive, and talking to some other brand promoters, including our competition, the margins are not there to justify big expenses. So what we are doing is now we are promoting our Cupid brands through wholesale dealers of condoms. There are major wholesalers in major cities who are moving lot of male condoms. The second channel which we are trying to use is through a distributor. And third one is through digital marketing. We have made some progress, mostly in terms of female condoms, but it is to spread the awareness. A lot of people, including women in India, are not aware that female condom exists and what are the advantages. So we are promoting that. The sale in first 6 months is little less than 2 CR. So we expect by March 19, we could achieve a target of 4 CR with kind of limited expenditure on promotion.
Okay, and like what's the margin on what's the EBITDA margin you generate on this 4 CR?
EBITDA margin on this one is about 25% on the B2C sales because of market competition.
Okay.
And also the price ceiling by the pharmaceutical commissioner, 25 rupees maximum we can charge for 3 male condoms, MRP.
Okay. And do you have any update on the U.S. business where the FDA were planning to like move this product to a lower category, and that would be positive? Could you give us some more background on the update?
Yes, please. We were expecting the final orders from US FDA by actually end of October. By that I mean they had issued their initial circular that they do intend to go ahead and down classify female condoms to class 2 from class 3, which would be just like a male condom. However, for some reason, their final notification has not yet been published, and we expected, though, that before the year end, it would be done. In the meantime, we are going ahead preparing our folder to be submitted for 510K for female condoms to US FDA. And also, we have initiated a contact with a marketing company in California who are interested to market Cupid female condoms in retail throughout the U.S.
So if they all goes to plan, you're expecting to get some revenues in probably basically Q1 of the next financial year, April to June 2019, from U.S. market. Is it your expectation?
Yes, we are hoping that we would start to receive some revenues from April to June in that quarter, first quarter of FY20.
Okay, sir. And one final question. You basically made a comment that there are more donors in the market who are supporting the like population fund and all these other funds, and that you expect more demand from for the female condoms. But could you give more detail on when you expect these like additional demand to translate into concrete orders? So would it be this year or maybe next year? Or
the donor funding, mostly from Global Fund, World Bank, and WHO, they have been increasing their allocation, but mostly for male condoms. For example, they are planning to increase the procurement in Africa from 13 billion male condoms currently up to 20 billion over the next 5 years. The allocation and budgets for female condoms are not being increased in that kind of proportion. It's rather slow from our point of view. However, there has been more and more cases of STIs in 2018 all over the world, including US, and also the HIV is spreading very fast amongst younger people, especially women aged 14 to 19. So, based on the discussions in the technical conferences, we believe that next year's budget for female condoms will be much better than this year's.
Okay, and how much did we get this year for the first 6 months from this segment in terms of revenue?
For the first 6 months, so far we have received only about 30 CR orders in total.
Okay. From donor funding, right?
Yes. A lot will depend on the results of the Brazil tender, of course.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashwin S. from ANS Investment. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. I had a few questions. The first one of them being, for the Brazil tender, will it be awarded to one bidder or will it be split across multiple bidders?
We have been told that it would be allocated to a single party unless and until that L1 party is not able to handle the entire quantity within the stipulated 4 months delivery period. So we expect it would be allocated to one party.
Okay. And with respect to the U.S., given it doesn't figure in your future plans from the press release perspective, I know you've talked about it. How sizable is the opportunity, or how important is it in the scheme of things for Cupid in the next year or so?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The U.S. female condom opportunity, which we just talked about with the previous caller, it doesn't really figure in your press release as one of the items which is going to, be a growth driver. So in that context, just wanted to know where it stands from a priority and from a potential perspective.
I'm still not clear on the last part of your question, please.
Okay. The last part of the question was, in your press release, you talk about future businesses or future growth drivers, right? In that, U.S. female condom potential is not talked about. Does that mean it is not a priority area, or does it not have, strong enough revenue or margin potential?
It does have very strong potential. However, unfortunately for this year, the donor funding was very limited, both from UNFPA, Gates Foundation, and WHO. But going forward, we are quite optimistic that demand for female condoms would increase, and it would contribute significantly to Cupid's revenues. In the meantime, our margins and volumes are increasing from the sale of male condoms. We are coming out with some value-added male condoms, which would give us a better margin.
Okay. No, sorry, I was referring specifically to the U.S. female condom, where you said you would tie up with a person who would take it retail directly. I was talking about that specific opportunity. And my question was around that. How attractive is it, and what kind of revenue potential could it have for Cupid?
Yeah. If it works out, the retail price of a female condom in U.S. is around $1.50 per piece to $2 a piece. And as you know, here it's going at less than 50 cents. Now, we just started the contacts with this marketing company, and they seem to have a lot of experience. Earlier, they had marketed the product of our competitor in U.S. So they feel pretty confident that they would be able to promote Cupid female condoms. However, it is too early to say how successful we would be and how much revenue could be generated, say, in year one.
Okay. Got it. And then from your other businesses perspective, like gels and other products that you were thinking of distributing, where does that stand, and what's the latest on that?
I'm sorry, I could not get the question, so please.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe my line is not clear. So basically, you had new business ideas, right? Like certain gels and sanitizers, etc. I wanted to know where that stands from a current update perspective.
Okay, we are launching next month in December our 4 products online as a first step towards commercialization. And these products, one we have already launched. is water-based lubricant jelly. The second one is hand sanitizer. Third one is a wipe, which we have manufactured here, and we are going to test it online first. And then we also have a specialized male condom and a female condoms. So these are the products. We are going to launch it online, test the market, see how it goes before bringing it to the retail channels.
Okay. And just from your own business planning perspective, 1 or 2 or 3 years down the line, how much do you think these products can contribute from a revenue, either as a share or in terms of rupees crore?
I expect 20 to 30% contribution over the next 3 years from these non-condom products.
Oh, got it. And then my final question is slightly long-term, As we've seen, I think you had a great run in the last 5-10 years, but the last 2-3 years have been kind of stagnant from a revenue and from a margin perspective, stagnant or slightly downward sloping. So where do you see yourself? I mean, what do you envision Cupid to be, let's say, 3 or 4 years down the line? In light of your current capacity expansion plans, new products, there seems to be quite a few things which have been in the pipeline for almost 3-4 quarters now, waiting to take off. So how do you envision Cupid, let's say, 3 or 5 years down the line?
Well, we are projecting 10 to 15% increase in top line year on year. Depending on, we do not come up with any new products which we are still working on. For example, a wipe to slow down the premature ejaculation is one we are working on. There seems to be quite a big market both for export and in India. So it's difficult to quote a projected sales number. But over the next 3 years, we are targeting about 200 CR top line.
Very helpful. Thanks so much. If there's anything, I'll get back to you.
Let's hope so.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ajay Sharma from Ficus Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I just had a few more questions here about the B2C business. Could you tell us how it's growing and what exactly are the sales right now?
Oh, like I mentioned, the sales from B2C is rather limited. We are projecting 4 CR for this entire year from B2C.
Okay, and how has the growth been on a quarterly basis?
Last year, for the total year, we were just over 1 CR, and now we are growing almost 1 CR every quarter.
Okay, I see. And in your opening statement, you spoke about your optimism for the next 4 or 5 years. Can you just help us understand where this growth will come from and why you say that your top line will grow at 10 to 15% year over year? Okay.
A couple of factors. First of all, the total production capacity has increased. Number 2, we are coming out with some value-added products. Number 3, our cost of production will be one of the lowest. And number 4, the margins are improving based on our new pricing agreement. So the growth will come from the existing business as well as from some of the new items we have in mind. One product we are looking at is what we call a second generation female condoms, whereby we would have some attachments to the female condoms for better sexual pleasure. there are some regulatory issues, but if we can come up with a product like that successfully, there is a huge demand and a reasonable margin, not only in India, but also in exports.
Okay, I see. But what about the industry? How is the industry growing for female condoms? If I recall correctly, the acceptance of female condoms amongst the end users wasn't very high over these last few years, maybe 2 decades.
It is still not very high. The acceptance is very, very slow, and the main reason is the lack of awareness. However, based on our last 2 years of efforts, we have covered over 20,000 postal codes all over India, and the sales have gone up from, say, 300 pieces per month to over 2,000 pieces per month. And we are doing the promotion online, and starting next month, our products would be marketed not only in India through eBay, Flipkart and Amazon, but also we are going to their UK and their European operations as well. So on their foreign websites also, we would be marketing our products. So to answer your question, the acceptance and sales of female condom has been slow. One of the main reasons was the lack of donor funding this year. But I believe that it would expand after next financial year.
Okay, I see. And my final question is, do you have any specific growth targets? I know you gave a 10 to 15% revenue guidance growth, but do you have anything more specific with respect to your turnover, let's say in 3 years, or the turnover from a product in 3 years, or something like that?
Well, the general guideline is about 10 to 15% increase year over year. The specific projection would depend on many factors, as you know, including the funding available on a worldwide basis, plus also what size of the pie Cupid is able to get from these national and international tenders. So really, right now, we are able to give only a general guidelines, not any specific numbers going beyond 2 years.
Okay. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jayant Raghav, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Dear sir, with regard to the pending order book, that is the available order book, you mentioned that it was about 51 crores. So does this include even the 40 crores that runs from October 2018 up to September 2019? If yes, then if I just on simple math assume 50% each year, then for this year, the executable order book comes to around 31 crores for the next 6 months. Is this math correct?
No, the order book for next 6 months from October 1 to March 31st is 51 CR.
Clear. Okay. And the other question is, do we foresee any benefit from the depreciating rupee on the top line?
Yes, we have benefited. In fact, if you look at our financial statement, the other income portion has increased, which is primarily due to devaluation of rupee, plus some of the other export incentives government is providing in terms of value-added product margins, what they call duty drawback on the exports.
Okay. And so my last question is on the raw material costs. Are we still seeing the raw material prices increasing? or is it now stable?
It's quite stable. It's within a range of plus minus 10%. This year, due to heavy rainfalls in Kerala, it has gone up for about 6 weeks, and due to flooding also there was disturbance in the transportation, but now it's coming down. Currently we are enjoying one of the lowest cost of per kilo of latex rubber.
That's good to hear. Thank you, sir. I'm done.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shruti Patel, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, sir. Thank you for taking my questions. So firstly, I have a question on the order book. One of the investors also asked you that does it include the 40 crores that we got from the SA government? The order book of 51 crores.
Which 40 crores?
We got the order in August, right, of 40 crores from SA government.
Did you say NDA? India government.
No, not the South African government.
Oh, South African government, we got 40 crores order, but the male condom order is spread over 3 years there. What we have included in this 51 CR is only the portion which would be serviced or dispatched by March, which would be approximately 15 CR.
Okay, got it, sir. So 16 CR. Okay, so that was one. And so the total breakup of 51 between FC and MC would be?
It's about 2/3 male condoms and 1/3 female condoms.
Okay, got it, sir. And sir, one question on as a follow-on on the US FDA. You mentioned that the final notification should arrive by the end of this year, and you expect to get book revenues in the first quarter of next financial year. So is it okay for us to say that it will take about 3 to 4 months for you to get all the clearances from the FDA once the final notification is out?
Okay, once the final notification is out, the first step would be for Cupid to submit its technical dossier to US FDA, which would take about 2 months. And after that, depending on what they would require in terms of clinical trials, that could take another 2 months, although there is a possibility that no clinical trials would be required. So we are hoping that by January, February next year, we could get the registration and permission to start marketing our product. This is our estimate. With the government, you never know how the plans and projects are implemented. So based on all that, we are projecting some revenues should start from April 2019.
Got it. Sir, and on the raw material prices, you mentioned that we are enjoying one of the lowest prices for latex. But what about the silicone pricing? Because there were some issues for last 2 quarters where factories were being shut in China and US. So how is that doing in terms of growth?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked. We were really suffering in terms of higher input costs due to silicone oil. But luckily, starting last month, the prices have started their downward spiral, and it has come down by about 25%, even in last 3 weeks. So it is looking more and more favorable.
Okay, got it, sir. Sir, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashwin S. from A&S Investment. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity again. So this is two questions regarding the 51 crore order book. One, how confident are you that you'll be able to completely execute it within the next 6 months? And second, if there are new orders which come in the next 6 months, will you have the capacity to execute beyond 51 crores?
The answer to the first question is that our dispatch schedule has been worked out that we could dispatch all these or most of these 51 CR orders. However, there could be some glitches. For example, during the December break down in South Africa, they may slow down their dispatch dates. That could be one variable, but we expect more or less to maintain the completion of these 51 CR. Now, to answer the second part of your question, we have some flexibility in terms of accommodating some new orders if the quantities are limited and we get some time. Usually we get 3 months time from the tendering authorities or from the government, or we could negotiate the delivery dates. For example, if they want it delivered starting March, we could offer them starting in April. So most of the time it works out.
Thanks a lot. That is pretty much it from my side. I mean, while I'm at it, might as well ask you for your latest guidance for the full year in terms of revenues and margins.
Say that again, please.
What would be your latest guidance on revenues and margins for the full year?
For the full year, we are looking at about 90 to 95 CR top line and at least 20 CR PAT. So far, in first 6 months, we have done, as you see it from the press release, 8.8 CR. So if you project it to full year, it comes to about 17.6 CR, the total profit for the year, which is slightly higher than last year's 17 CR. So our objective is to improve that and bring it to closer to, say, 20 CR.
Thanks a lot and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was the last question of the conference. I now hand the conference over to management for closing comments.
We are very pleased with some of the questions raised and the discussions, which always helps us to charter our future direction in terms of business strategy, in terms of fixing or refixing our objectives going forward. So we would like to thank all our shareholders who have supported Cupid over all these years. Without their help, we could not have progressed, whereby today, as you are aware, we are a debt-free company. We have a reasonable amount of cash reserves. Order book is strong, and workforce is very stable. So with your continuing help, we are expecting even a brighter future. Thank you very much. Back to you, Vinay.